80-20-365, a time management system to help you achieve your goals and dreams in 2021 and beyond. We all have the same amount of time. Our results depend where we invest it. Welcome to Living Your Life Well Planned, the 80-20-365 success system invented by Adam Vincent Gilmer. I'm your host, Gene Velitis, and welcome to, as it says, episode number 37. And we'd like to say and wish everybody a very, very happy new year, 2021, to all of our podcast listeners and viewers around the world in now more than 30 countries and over 35 states in the United States. Now, you might not be joining us in January. You might be joining us a few months down the road. We really can't tell. Regardless of where you start, you can make this day one. So let's welcome the inventor of 80-20-365. It's Adam Vincent Gilmer. Good morning, Adam, or good evening, or whatever it happens to be. Happy 2021. Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy 2021. Welcome to the show once again. Excited, actually, Gene. It's funny. I think it's been a year now that we've been on, and then we had the coronavirus hit. We stopped for a little bit, and we got right back on the bandwagon. So, exciting times, unbelievable change taking place in everybody's lives. And, we like to say change. We also like to use the word growth. Mm-hmm. So we're ready for a year of growth and, change, making the right things happen in your life.
Yeah. I thought it'd be a really, really great idea if we just did a little bit of reviewing in case somebody they are joining us here in January, wherever you happen to be in the world. And what I wanted to focus on is balance in your life. And that's what 80-20-365 and the system is all about. To make this really work in your life, what you need to do, the podcast is free. You can go to the website, you can watch the videos, you can get a hold of Adam. He'll talk to you free of charge to help you in your various businesses. But when you have your daily planner, this is going to be your GPS. This is going to be your guide. You're going to write things down in it, and it's really going to take you through maybe the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, the next year, the next 5 years. But before we get into it, Adam, leaders lead and leaders set an example. So I know that all of your books from last year ran out at the end of December. You and your family spent great time at your cabin in the Lake Tahoe, and what a beautiful place it is. One of the nicest Christmas trees I've ever seen in my life. But tell me what you did with your daily planners over the Christmas holiday season, and what sort of a plan you came up with. Then we'll get into reviewing being, brain, body, time, and money.
All right. Well, yes, we have a fabulous place up in Tahoe. What was great is I had Jessica's parents, my wife's parents, joined us, as well as both my brothers and their families. So, and I also have those free, not free, but, COVID tests free to me from that other business. So everybody was there. We had 16 people. It was fabulous, great times. We went from basically December 23rd all the way through like the 28th together as a family. And then everybody kind of went home for celebrating, 2021 with their friends and so on and so forth. And that gave me time between the 29th, 30th, 31st, and basically through the 5th of January 2021 to sit down and plan. And what I did was, most people don't know this, that, when you get the system, it's a 16-month system. Yes, it's good for a year, okay? But the point is that your purpose statement is planned out for the next 60 months, meaning that 5 years. What would you like to create in your life? What would you like to do in your life? What new goals, new things that you want to make happen, new visions for your life? Because I don't believe life stops at any particular age, meaning that, if you just turn 60, 70, or 80, hey, you can still get on the system. And more so, if you're in your 20s, this is going to be absolutely perfect for you. Because that way you can plan through you being 25, you being 30, 35, so on and so forth. So I sat down, my 5-year game plan had come, my 60-month game plan had come to an end at the end of 2020. So I decided, great, let me take some extra time. The kids were out snowboarding, sledding, doing things with Jessica. And I'm in complete solitude, one of my favorite places in the world. And I got to sit down and plan 5 years, in other words, 60 months of my life. And I got through all that, and man, it almost like a light bulb went off. And here's the beautiful thing, Gene, it started snowing. It was like I was alone in the cabin. I could look out over the lake. And I don't know if it's just want to call it a God moment, a eureka piece, a connection with the universe. But, you
Hmm.
know, I set some serious objectives for myself so that I'm pushing. You know, some people say, well, aren't you happy with the money you made and this, that, and the other and whatever? And I'm like, you know, you got to be like an oak tree. Okay. Oak trees don't stop. They just keep growing and growing and growing and growing. And that's how you have to look at your life. And that's what I've done. I've planned out now 2021 through 2026. I know it's a big, huge statement to say that at the end of the day, and I don't have a crystal ball to look into. None of us do. What I do believe, though, if you're not living life well planned, life is going to plan it for you, okay,
Mm,
automatically.
well
And
said.
you end up being like a ship without a rudder in the sea or no wind in the sails.
Yeah. Well, we've said it in many of our previous episodes. If you have no goal, you'll achieve that as well. And just let that sink in for a few seconds. Now, the great thing about the daily planner, and by the way, it's $1 a day, and you,
Yeah,
you do need to have it in front of you when you're working on the podcast. And all these podcasts and the trainings are
right
are
here.
free. It's right there. And Adam, just keep holding it up there for a second, because what's really significant about this daily planner is the front cover. And the front cover says being, brain, body, time, and money. So
Yeah,
people are
being,
always
brain,
talking,
body, time, and money.
right, and people are always talking about, I need more balance in my life, but nobody has told them what they need to balance. These are the pillars you need to balance in your life. So, as a review, to get started on this new year, or whenever you're tuning in, maybe you're just getting started, you can start. You don't have to start January 1. You can start the
Oh,
middle of February, the middle of March. You can, if you're listening to this in June, you can start. So it's okay.
right.
It doesn't have to be at a specific date. So let's go through all the pillars. Let's, yeah, you know what? You pick the first one, and let's just talk about how they all have to be in balance, or your life is out of balance.
Well, okay, so after doing workshops around the world, we're not doing them now, right? COVID can't travel, what have you. So, you know, I'm not doing Russia, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, India, Australia, you know, Latin America, but we are doing them online. And during those days that I was at the home in Tahoe, I did the same thing with the teams. We got together, and you know, the leaders. Now, when I say leaders, let me just define something. Um, I know everybody wants more money. Like, everybody wants more money. Like they need more oxygen, like every day. Okay, without oxygen, none of us are here. So the real challenge comes down to this: is that I find that most people go into 2021 or whatever year, and they don't take the time to say, okay, what's really really important to me. Since 1999, I've had, well, not the exact plan like this. That's when I was putting it together and making everything work. But since then, I figured out, like, listen, you know, spirituality is an important piece to the equation. And when I say that to people, when I say spirituality, you know, I've got my own beliefs and my own relationship with my creator. And I look at everything and I say to people, my entire groups and sales organizations around the world are made up of every single religion. Okay. And when we do the trainings, I'm respectful. You know, I'm not here to necessarily change somebody's belief in what they should, how they grew up, or this, that, and the other. But here's the thing that I want to suggest to everybody. It's good to have spiritual goals. For me, I happen to believe that there's a God. I happen to believe that the universe wasn't just something that just happened to be. I think something put it in place. I also, you know, I was having a gentleman discuss this with me after one of my episodes on planning. And it was like, okay, you know, and his goal was he wanted to have a Ferrari. Okay. And I was like, okay, great. Now, Ferraris are great cars. Okay. Not that I love Italian stuff. At the end of the day, you know, I don't believe that out of a big bang, okay, that a finely tuned V12, hand stitched leather, steering wheel, you know, speedometer, digital, you know, little nice display, and also, you know, solar powered or, you know, new technology running all four wheels just happened to come out of that. What I believe is that someone put it into perspective and said, listen, let me go and create something. And that being said, that's the first area of life I think people should look at to say, let me go and give homage, worship. Let's put things in balance. So the first pillar of life for us is being, and being is a spirituality, a connection with the person that, the deity that put you on this planet. not your parents necessarily, but like, and more bigger, much bigger than that. Okay. And I say goals, and here I don't mind showing it to people because, people say, well, do you really sit down and do this? I'm like, well, one, we have a whole segment on the purpose statement. Okay. And there's my purpose statement, a contract with myself, signed, delivered, ready to go out and make things happen. And then I got the 5-year bottom lines for myself: being, brain, body, time, people, and money. And the last thing on the list that I put together was the money piece. So the first area is being, and that's what we're discussing right now. So being, specialized knowledge, brain, looking after your body, managing your time, networking with people, and then the wealth creation takes place. So having, and we've done an episode on this before, almost a year ago. You can find it on Spotify or Apple iTunes, Instagram, of course, Facebook page now. And we haven't been censored, thank goodness, because we're talking about things in a good way. But I'm only saying that because of the current news that's going on. But the point is this, is that for you to have life balance, we went up to Tahoe for a reason, right? We wanted to get away. It was the end of the year. There was no travel. Normally I'm I'm doing 400,000 plus miles a year, traveling city to city or country to country. And we're doing trainings where we're encouraging people to step up, get out, face their fears, get into the mode, get into and connect with people that are actually doing it. So long story short, the first area that we like to focus on is area of spirituality. And that is setting some spiritual goals that are going to, in two ways. One, for 5 years, what you'd like to see happen, with your spiritual relationship over the next 5 years. But more importantly, down to 2021, and then 2021 is broken up into 12 months. And each planner, and this one here is, there we go, first quarter 2021. Each planner is broken into 3 months, a quarter. So you got 4 planners in a kit, right? So here's the other 3 that I have here. I'm sorry, wrong way around. Here's the other 3 that I have here. And like everything else, Gene, it takes a little time. It's confusing when you start. You're not used to it. But at the end of the day, after you start doing it, new habits are created. So the first area that we like to focus on is you getting serious about some spiritual goals for you, your family, what you'd like to accomplish, and the plan that you'd like to see happen over the next 12 months versus 60 months over 5 years.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other pillars that you have there in terms of planning, because if one is out of balance, they're all kind of out of balance. And it's like, if you have 4 wheels on a car, if one is flat, yeah, you can drive, but you're not going to go very fast, and you're going to have to stop, and you'll have to, change that flat tire to bring the car back into balance. So let's talk about these other areas, the pillars that you've established, and what you need to do at the beginning of either a new year or just simply at the beginning of using this planner in the course.
Well, the other thing I want to make note too is that the planner isn't just a planner. It's a planner. It's also a daily journal, and it's also a calendar system, all kind of put together as one piece, so that you can balance. You don't have to go through different scenarios and what have you. To live a life well planned, it's not just being spiritual. Like let me give you an idea. Yes, I'm very, very grateful. I'm grateful for this consciousness that we have, but at the end of the day, if I didn't do something with it, I end up not being a good steward. So you've got to also take in specialized knowledge, and that's the area of the brain. And what I love about the brain, of all the research that I've done, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a, yeah, you get it, okay? There's my disclaimer.
Okay, we get it.
The point is that there's some information, like we're sharing here on our show, podcast, what have you, is there's information we want to give you that is going to allow your brain to expand. And when I say brain to expand, it's not going to blow out of your skull. The thought process is going to get bigger. And that's what we like to see in everybody, is actually growth taking place with thoughts, because that's where everything begins. So the second area that we like to focus on is the brain. And you have to take in specialized knowledge on the subject that you're looking to do. So if you're in the real estate industry, it's important that you're taking in or going to and researching and doing deals and what have you, and meetings on, hey, how you can get better at that space. If you're in the direct sales industry, the network marketing industry, if you're in any industry and you're looking to grow, you have to study that subject. And some of the information is going to be, very, very useful, the 80-20 principle. And the other part is 80% of the stuff that you're studying is like, yeah, I already know all that stuff. Okay. But there's some things that we introduce or that you learn or you take in through your mind, through the left and the right hemispheres, and great things take place. Now, the inner thoughts that all of us have going on in our brains is like this. The left side of the brain and the right side of the brain, we all know that we have this. And it doesn't matter whether you're left-handed or right-handed. What ends up happening is that, you've got the left side doing certain things and the right side doing certain things. The left side of the brain is very, very logical. It's looking for direction. It's looking for, how do I get this? Looking for the stepping stones. The right side of the brain is very creative. So the way I explain creativity is like, love, passion, long walks, watching sunsets. Okay. And on the left side of the brain, it's looking for order. It's looking for, what do I need to do? And what's great about taking in specialized knowledge, and thank goodness we didn't have to create the brain. It's been created, and now we just have to program it in a certain way, taking in knowledge. And when you take in specialized knowledge on the subject that you're looking to grow on, great things take place, because your brain automatically sorts and sifts, says, hey, this, that, and the other. And by the way, here's the creative stuff that you got to do. And by the way, here's the creative stuff that's going on. By the way, that fits into the order side of the brain. And by the way, you can go look this up online and get all the information. You'll see it there. As I said, I'm not a psychologist, but I spent time with psychologists to go over how everything works and the mapping. The mapping of your brain is based on you taking in knowledge, learning when you were a kid. And then as you get older, taking in specialized knowledge in a field that you're going to be in for a career. And when you talk about careers are based on taking in information, getting a good grade, having good subjects take place, reading, taking in the knowledge. And what's important about that is you've got to specialize in the information in the career that you're going to be in. You've got to become an expert. And if you consider the word expert for 1 second, an expert is somebody who's become very, very good at what they do and they're considered an expert. And that's because they've taken the specialized knowledge, they've acted upon it, and it's created results openly in the consciousness that we're in, where it's measurable. And that's very, very important. Now, if you're not trying to expand your knowledge base, I'm sorry, not going to be doing much growing. You're going to be a great couch potato. Anyway, being, spirituality, brain, and then, all right. So after you get done with, being and brain, the next pillar is body. And the body encompasses everything in the body, all the muscles, the sinews, the heart beating, everything else. And what I want to recommend to everybody is that you have to have some great goals for your physicality, great goals for your diet, things that you're looking to give up. New Year's resolutions. Okay, so it's the same thing. Here's the problem though. With most systems, Gene, and to the listeners that are listening in, for the most part, most of the people start New Year's resolutions, and what happens is that less than 30 days in, those New Year's resolutions are out the door.
Absolutely.
When I talk about going on a diet or this, that, and the other, I want you to, put your mindset into the place of like, what would you like your body to be like, and then you say, okay, well, how many calories am I taking in a day? I have an app that measures that for me. It measures all the food that I eat. It keeps me on track. Okay. And there's tons of apps. I'm not promoting one over the other. I'm just saying that you got to be on one of them. Okay. But the good thing is that you have to do certain things. Like it's good to go for a walk every day. It's funny. I talk to some physicians, and we have various physicians on our board in the healthcare company that I'm in. And I ask them independently, what's the best regimen for somebody either to lose weight or maybe they've had an episode in their lives? What's the best regimen? And they said walking. Okay?
Wow.
It wasn't running. It wasn't like go and lift, bench press 500 pounds or 200 pounds or whatever the number is. It was get the blood moving around the body. And that is going for a walk in fresh air. And what ends up happening is that, you start out small with small little objectives. and your life over time, which is a great thing, which is the next pillar, leads you in a direction. So, so one of the things I said for myself was, and by the way, I've been, because I travel around the world so much, I used to weigh 245 pounds, but I was still in great shape. And today I'm a healthy 222 pounds. I've watched what I've had to eat. Jessica, the kids, and I do a lot of great activities together. Usually I go on a walk with Jessica every day. Wasn't able to do it in the snow up in Tahoe, but we were able to walk the lake and what have you, and taking great sights, take some pictures on my Facebook page for those folks who are interested in following me. But at the end of the day, you got to have some goals for your body. And it's not just, turning into Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay? Like, being a bodybuilder. You just got to be proactive about, hey, this is my daily regimen of what I'm doing to make my body last longer. And at the end of the day, remember, we're trying to make, or we're making, the goal is to have good finances too, which is the last step. But I know I'm Gene, you and I have a personal friend, not too far from where I am now in California. And it's great. He started the system about 3 months ago. Okay, he called me up. He said, "That's it. I'm done." He was angry and upset. And he said, "Listen, bring up the system." So I got his assistant, his butler, and himself together on the system. And I'm telling you, you got to see the difference in this man's life, who, by the way, is worth hundreds of millions of dollars now. Okay. And his knee doesn't hurt anymore. There's certain things going on in his life. His blood sugar levels are better. His cholesterol levels are better. And that's simply because we implemented something he was already good at business. Okay. He was already good at taking in specialized knowledge. He was already good at working with people. We'll get to those tabs in a second, but he was sacrificed.
Out of balance. He was out of balance.
Correct.
That's why it's like those little mobiles over a baby's bed that they look at.
Right.
If one gets out of balance, I mean, the mobile does this, right? It's totally out of balance. So
Correct.
What happened to our pal?
Back on track. He's like, actually, I'm going to end up having him as a guest on the show in the upcoming weeks or months, because so much change has happened for him. So he's lost about 25 pounds now. And listen, the only difference was he made a mental switch in his head, because he could, after doing the daily planner every day, you get to see where, pardon the expression, where your shit's not working. Okay. And he figured it out. And by the way, and I haven't gotten a thank. I don't even need to thank you. What I wanted is, a person is happier, more confident, more, I'm going to say self-sufficient, more at ease with themselves when they feel better, look better, and they feel like $1 million. Okay. Yeah. And that's what's happening. And at the end of the day, for those folks that are listening, that's what we're talking about. So it's being, brain, body. And by the way, body just doesn't encompass fitness goals. It also encompasses diet goals, and it also encompasses the vision that you'd like to see. It also encompasses certain parts of shopping, so you look good in the clothes that you're wearing. Going and getting a tailor, which is another thing we'll cover. I had him go and do that too, because I said, listen, you know what? It's time for you to step up, okay? Not step out, step up. All right. So being, brain, body. The next one is managing your time, which is great. If you looked at my planner from the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, I have red lines through those pages, and 28th. Okay. I have red lines through those pages. You know why? I was spending our time with the kids, our nieces, nephews, our own 2 children, family. I mean, and just to be honest with everybody, I'm going to tell you, my brothers and I are originally from South Africa, but we have Irish parents. And I'm not going to say that we're really champions at whiskey, but I'm going to tell you, whiskey was involved. Okay? over those days. But we had a great, fantastic, and people use this term all the time. They say, I had a great time. I had a great time. When you went on vacation, I had a great time. What is that really saying to the consciousness? It's really saying that what you did with the minutes, the seconds, the hours, and the days were valuable, and then your brain converts that into, I had a great time. Well, you have to plan your time with family. You have to plan your time spiritually. You have to plan your time taking in knowledge. You have to plan your time for your fitness, your diet regimen, your eating schedule. You have to plan all this stuff out, because if you don't, what's going to happen is that you're going to hand the control of the CEO of who you are, which is what you're meant to do, and you're going to hand it over to, ambiguity. And what happens is that when that starts to happen, there's no set time or things to make things happen. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be so damn scheduled that you cut things off, you move things on, that you have to handle it just like a business. What I'm saying is that you need to plan your time, how you plan on working your business this year in 2021, how you plan on who the people you're planning to network with, how you plan on going to the gym, what time you go to the gym. I follow certain people on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And one of my favorite people to follow, because his work ethic is unfreaking believable, is The Rock. And everybody knows, who The Rock is, right? Dwayne Johnson. And and I have all of his. I love the Bowler Show, and I love the stuff that he's doing and some of his work. But what I love more so than that, because I don't know him personally, but what I found about him online is that he has a work ethic where he plans his time. So the first thing that's important to him, like it's important for myself, is you get up in the morning. What do you do next? You have a workout routine, okay? And when I say get up in the morning, he doesn't get up at like 6, 7, or 8. He's already up 4 hours before that. He's up at 4 a.m. Then he's in the gym. Now, he's a big muscular dude, what have you. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be that. All I'm saying is that in his mind, what he's doing to live a balanced life, is that the first thing that he knows he has to do is take care of his physicality. And he's up doing that. But you know what? That's a plan. He's put it in motion. Mm-hmm. So for everybody starting 2021 goals, and they I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight, I want to fit in this dress or wear this jacket or pants or whatever. It's not just going to be the workout routine that's important. It's also going to be the diet. But you've got to plan it. Then you've also got to plan who you're meeting with, what your goals and objectives are. I spent 5 full days planning out 5 years. Okay. And by the way, I've been doing this a while. So for me, it's like, okay, great. You've got the habits and everything else instilled, but that's time. Okay. And you've got to plan it out. You've also got to plan family time. For those folks that are interested, if you go to Instagram and, or you look us up, look me up, or go to Facebook, I took AJ. So here's the great thing. We got up there. AJ had never been snowboarding before. Okay.
AJ's your son. We should point out for everybody. That's Adam Jr.
Adam Jr. He's 9. So here's what we did. We got up early. His cousins were up there. They're all great snowboarders, older than AJ. So we went up to the mountain, and I said to AJ, I said, what do you want to do? He said, Daddy, I'm considering skiing or snowboarding. And his oldest cousin, who's 17, okay, said, what, AJ, people don't ski anymore. Now, just so for everybody that's listening, I'm a skier.
I use 2 boards, not 1.
Don't take it the wrong way. Love skiing, love snowboarding. But because of the influence, and this is important, because the influence, this is going to serve the next tab, the people tab, the people pillar. AJ just said, hey, I want to try snowboarding. So we went up and rented, boots, board. He had his helmet, goggles, mitts, dressed up. And he went for lessons. Now, here's the truth be told. After the first day, he did maybe 11 or 12 runs that day, all down the small little bunny stuff with an instructor. Now, here's the best thing. The best thing that happened is, and this is what I love about our family, is that, and it comes down, the people tab is the 5th area, okay, is that the 2 oldest nephews said to AJ on the 10th, 11th, and 12th run, hey, we're going to do them with you, because they'd already gone and done the black diamond stuff and this, that, and the other, and what have you. And we're coming down. They were tired from running that stuff, and they said, okay, let's go hook up with AJ. And just so you know, so there was the instructor, two cousins, other family members, his cousin showed up with the instructor that AJ was with the entire day. Unbelievable improvement. So long story short, and I'm watching this from the sidelines, right? I'm watching this from, because the bunny slope's not that long, but you can watch this and the other, and you can see the instruction going on. And that's the other part of this is like, we walk you through the instruction of how to use this manual, how to use the time management system. And I'm translating it into what's actually taking place over the last, call it 10 days for us, and how this will apply to your life. The time that the two cousins showed up, his rate of improvement over running down the bunny slope was so much better. His confidence went up. He had taken what he had learned from a stranger, the instructor, and then you add two people that he knows, likes, and trusts immediately. They went down the bunny slopes with him too. Rate of improvement. So long story short, after the first day, he's like, I think I'm going to ask. Christmas hadn't happened yet. He said, I think I'm going to ask Santa for a snowboard after day one. And of course, Mom and I sitting back going, oh God, here we go again, Long story short, he did the same. Day two, he got better, his rate of improvement. Day three, this is basically the morning of Christmas Eve. The kids will go away. You wouldn't believe it. Santa showed up the next day, had a snowboard, new boots, this, that, and the other, okay? And so chuffed. Here's the point. The time that was involved on, first of all, I hit family goals, making all this happen. Secondly, hanging out with the family, wife, kids, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, parents-in-law. Secondly, the rate of improvement went up, not because I'm such a good coach, but because I understand that when you take somebody who's already majorly successful at what they're doing, and people hang out with people they know, like, and trust, and you add that into the equation, the rate of success, it's like watching hockey stick growth if it was an investment plan. And that's what you got to get into. That's what you got to understand if you're listening in to the show. I'm giving you firsthand experience of what's actually happened in my family because I'm watching this stuff take place. And I've seen the same thing happen, Gene, in the businesses of the people that we've helped train globally around the world, no matter what language they speak. So being brain, body, time, managing your time, you got to plan your time out effectively to make things work. And you need to connect with people that are doing it already. Next pillar is people. Now, the good thing about people is that there's lots of them. The bad thing about people is that some of them love you, care about you, and you have to decipher which people are going to be mentors, which people are going to be your experts to go to for information, which people are also going to be the people that you have to say, you know what, I'm sorry, but you do not qualify for my time anymore. I know that sounded kind of rude, but at the end of the day, most of these people, when you're starting a business, you're looking to make change or this, that, and the other, you're looking to grow, because they love you, okay, they don't want to see you getting hurt. And what I'm here to tell you is that we're not here to hurt you. Gene and I have seen massive growth and change take place in so many people's lives globally. What I'm telling you is that you've got to set the goals up for the kinds of people that you want to have in your life. If you don't ask, you don't get. If you don't plan, it doesn't happen. So on the people tab, one of my goals was having my family, obviously around Christmas time, end of year, all spend time together. And what most people don't know is that, and I'm willing to be transparent, is that my two brothers have been at odds with each other for like 15 years, okay? Because they were used to be in the same business together, and then they went sideways, and it's been challenging and what have you. But the truth be known is I've been working on the goal personally to bring everybody back together because, it's family. And you get to go through life change. So normally what would happen around Christmas is that we'd celebrate Christmas, one way with maybe one brother and family. And then the following year, or Christmas Eve or the 2 days before Christmas, we'd have to do it with the other family. And this year, thank goodness, after all the years of efforting, putting things together, what have you, everybody came together, which is a great thing, which is a testament to what I'm talking about, which is
exactly. You set a goal. You achieved a goal. And you brought balance back into your family.
And by the way, it was fantastic. Everybody got along. There was no fighting, screaming, bickering. It was like, I don't know, it was actually a great time, which is why I'm probably so joyful talking about what happened. So, and that's on a family level, okay? And listen, all of us are going to have family challenges, issues, and things that don't go well, okay? But at the end of the day, you've got to make some goals and objectives to bring things back together. And you've also got to make some goals and objectives professionally to work with people who know what the hell they're doing, which is why why we do the trainings for free, why we do all this work of putting together the podcasts and the Instagram pages and all the other stuff, okay? So you can get the information and say, let me go and do it. And all you gotta do is follow along in the planner. But understand, People Tab is probably, next to spirituality, the second most important thing. Okay. Yes, planning your times. All of them are important. All the 6 areas are important to keep everything in balance. Like it's like having a ball of energy. But the reason why people are important is because my success in life has come from leveraging my relationships. And most people don't go, what are you talking about? Well, okay, in my direct sales business, okay, and the incomes that we earn, that doesn't just come from my efforts. It comes from the efforts of thousands, hundreds of thousands of other people doing a little bit, okay? And that little, they do a lot in their lives, but I make a little bit of what they do. And that's leveraged over time, hence time management. But so you've also got to have the right people. You've also got to decide in your brain, which people are you going to follow? Which people are you going to spend time with? Which people are you going to say limited association with? In other words, you're pushing them away on purpose, not because you want to be a jerk or difficult. It's because they're not serving your greater purpose of what you're looking to do on this planet, okay, and make things happen. And I divide people up into 2 different teams. Okay, the first team is the people you know, like, and trust, like the 5 or 6, 7 people that you can absolutely get with, mind melt with, and they're together with you. These are the people that I've called, that would end up being your pallbearers at your funeral. The ones that are going to carry your casket, okay, with you in it, and after the energy is long gone, to bury you. So who are those people? Then on the other side is you got people you're going to push away. And then on the same side as the trusted people, the next ring, okay, is the people that you kind of work with, the people that you have a association with, okay? And maybe you talk to them several times a week or what have you. So that's that ring. And then there's the next ring, which is limited association, which they're good every now and then. Okay? It feeds.
But not always.
Not always. It's not going to drain you, and you're like, oh my God, I can't be around those people anymore. So being brain, body, time, people. And then here's the best part, Gene. The best part is the money tabs. The money tabs, the money tab, money pillar, what's really great is that it allows you to generate wealth. Now, for those folks, I mean, I guess I'll tell you, Bitcoin's done amazing over the last, I'm going to say 10, 15 days, okay? I've seen incredible spikes in income. When I say income, I should say in wealth generation, because I haven't actually pulled money out. So it's like, you have to look at this stuff. But guess what? All my businesses, some of them need work, like anything else. I mean, it's a project, right? So some of them need work. But here's the thing, because I'm putting out spiritual goals, I'm working on my brain, taking in knowledge. I had books up with me in the cabin. I had the 80-20 principle, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Like, most people say, well, geez, that's an old book. I'm like, yeah, but like the stuff is so good in taking in knowledge, okay? Working out, going for walks, didn't lift or do anything, had our protein powders and what have you up there, watch our diet, managing our time, right? I told you, I crossed pages through. It was all family time, which is great. It's like a recharged battery. I'm like, let's go dispense energy. And then networking with people, all of you, on the show, people watching, tuning in. One of the greatest affirmations that I have, it's in my people tab for my people goals, is I attract to my reality like-minded beings. That goes out to all the folks.
That's good.
Okay. Who I want to partner with in order to make life better. And together we will bring about change and earn multiple 6, 7, and 9-figure incomes. It's one of my daily affirmations I do. And guess what, Gene? People are attracted. I'm attracted to them, and they're attracted to myself. And all of you have this going on, all of you. But here's the problem. The problem is that you've got to segregate the people that are not leading you towards your purpose, that are like hanger-oners, pulling you down. That goal won't happen. You're a dreamer, blah, 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 all this negative stuff. And then here's the beautiful thing. When you start getting your mindset, when you start thinking differently, when you start acting differently because of those thoughts, you're going to network differently. When you network differently, it's going to introduce you to great people in your life. And guess what's going to happen? Those great people have thoughts, ideas, goals, dreams, and a purpose as well. And now you somewhat fit in with that person or people. And because of that, the new ideas and the thought energy, what have you, they say, hey, listen, I'm either joining your business, I want to do something similar to what you're doing, or hey, let's invest and build this company together, or hey, listen, I got this deal, that deal, I got this real estate thing going on, what have you. And like we talked on last year before we ended the system, we talked about multiple streams of income, MSIs. What starts to happen is that you get involved with all this stuff. Now, some of it you have to say no to, and some of it you're like, man, I'm in. Like, I'm in. Let's go make it happen. And now you got your money goals starting, and your money tree and your money pillar starting to become a fortress. And I can tell you, over the last 30 years, that's so 1999 to 2004, when I put this together, okay, 20 years of, man, focusing and making things happen. When people that went to school with me in South Africa, when that have reached out to me recently, okay, when friends that I used to race motocross with or did BMX with, and even my own family, and they're like, man, you know what? You've done amazing stuff, make things happen. What I want everybody to realize is it's not that I'm so good, because without the planning system, without actually having an opportunity to go and plan and organize and put stuff together, you know, I wouldn't be very, very good. Okay. I have to have a plan to focus on. And I use this here's my plan for January. Okay. All right. Just so everybody sees it. Okay. Planned out. I put it in motion in place. And you listen, so on my website, I talk about leading by example. Okay, you want to be a leader, you want to be a high achiever, you want to be a high output person. I'm going to tell you right now, you take a look at, like, Elon Musk just became the wealthiest person in the world. Okay. Yep. He surpassed Jeffrey Bezos just a few days ago. What made that happen? I'm going to tell you what it was. It was the SpaceX program. The fact that he took away from the government and said, go and make this thing happen in private business, okay, meaning it wasn't government run. He made a rocket take off, and he made the rocket come back and land. And by the way, it failed. I watched it blow up on YouTube. Okay, I watched it blow up live. It was funny. And you know what? They said, well, aren't you going to stop after several failed attempts? He goes, no. He says, the only time I can stop is when I'm dead. Wow. Okay. So while you're alive, while you're a ticking human bomb ready to make your purpose happen, make your life happen, start to plan and organize, start to live life in balance. Try it for a year. Try it for 30, 60, 90 days. Watch what's going to happen to the new habits, the new stuff that's going in place. And by the way, please write into myself or Gene. Tell us what's going on in your life. We'd love to maybe even have you as a future person on the show, and we can talk about all the great things that are taking part of your life. But Gene, just for everybody starting out here in 2021, listen, get your life organized, get specific, get on purpose, balance your life. And you know what? Little segments of balance worked on every single day over a period of, let's just say, 30, 60, 90, 180 a year. And you look back. I just posted on my Facebook page 5 years ago. My wife and I were hiking the Great Wall of China. Then after that, if you go look at it today, I just published a piece of us. I was building sandcastles outside of the Grand Wailea, the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, with my son, AJ. Alexa, our daughter, wasn't even a thought at that point, okay? And, if you go look at our Facebook page today, you'll actually see, or Instagram, you'll see Alexa and Jessica sliding down a hill, getting a little bit of air, and AJ getting massive air. Okay, now, and I'm not saying that all this was done happenstance. Of course, we chose the hill behind the house with a bump in it, so we could get some air, okay? And AJ was like, he saw some other kids doing it, and it led him to say, hey, I want to do it. And I caught it on camera. You're creating memories. What I'm trying to get across in our webisode episode, wherever you're listening to us on today, Spotify, Apple, whatever, is that you can make your life better. You have to take the steps in moving it towards with the goals you want to do. And just so you know, the goals that we have for this show this year are massive. Okay. I haven't even told Gene everything else I've been planning on, but I can't wait to. We're serious. In fact, in the next couple episodes, we're going to have some other amazing guests on our show. And we're expanding now. We're starting to say, okay, listen, we're ready to go get some massive traction and help you achieve your life's purpose and goals. And with that, Gene, I hand the show back to you.
Wow. Episode 37. And that's why you need to order your daily planner. You can do it on the website, 8020365.com. Now, as Adam mentioned, we're going to have some friends and experts coming up on our next couple of episodes. And if you are joining us in January 2021, our next episode 38 is going to be a really, really good one because it's 5 things you have to give up in 2021. And that'll be very, very special. For Adam Vincent Gilmer, I'm Gene Velitis. This is Living Your Life Well Planned. We'll see you coming up here on episode 38, the 5 things to quit in the new year. I'm Gene Velitis. 80-20-365, a time management system to help you achieve your goals and dreams in 2021 and beyond. We all have the same amount of time. Our results depend where we invest it. 80-20-365, living your life well planned.